Right, Paul, in the first race of the afternoon at the Vaal on Saturday, you have two runners in Royal Future and Upskilled, the latter of which looks possibly the right one.
Yes, Upskilled, she was very unlucky first time out. She was just caught in the dying strides of the race. I think maybe a little bit of greenness beat her that day. She's improved with the run. I think she's going to be difficult to beat.
Royal Future, quartets, trifectas, anything like that?
You know what? She's got us scratching our heads. She's bred, her mother won the Oaks, but we've tried her over a trip and she doesn't seem to do it. You know what? This is the second last run she's going to have. If she doesn't, then she's going to have to go breed.
Solid SATIN, whose claim to fame, I guess, is having run 10 lengths to what a captain. There must be hope there.
Yes, Mr. Von. She showed us good work before her first run, and I was quietly confident that she'd run a good race that day. She sort of blew up at the 300. Fitness told. She's not the soundest of horses, so to get the work in is not the easiest. So we've given her a bit of a break. I was hoping for more rain before this race, but she's done the necessary improvement, and I'm sure she'll be thereabouts again.
The good news is that there's probably going to be more rain before this race. If the weather forecast is to be believed, you're probably going to have quite a bit of rain before she races.
Yes, that's good news. I see tomorrow we might get some. So if we do get some rain, I think she'll be competitive. I know Mr. Peter's horse is quite fancied, but we're quite quick, and if she's fit enough, I'm sure she'll be fighting it out.
It's a fantastic day's racing, whichever way you look at it, and it culminates all the excitement that took quite some time to get going with a horse called TSITSIKAMMA Dance in a very highly heralded match race.
Yeah, it's quite exciting. I mean, I've never been part of a match race. I've never seen one live, and so to be part of the first one in the last 20 odd years is quite exciting. The stable are looking forward to it.
Obviously, he got home by a whisker in his last start. He showed any amount of courage. You've had plenty of time to get this horse ready. Is he as well as you've ever had him before?
I'd like to say yes. He's gone from strength to strength at home, but obviously on the day that's where it's going to count. I mean, kudos to the handicapper for getting both Grand Series races to such a close finish. I thought that was brilliant on both legs.
Then we move on to the second, where you've got both Lithuanian Dream and Palace Chapel. Once again, like the first race, maybe the second runner, Palace Chapel, looks like it could be the right one.
Yes, Palace Chapel's a decent horse. Gavin Lerino was very impressed with him last time. Please God, he goes on and he wins this race, because we've got bigger plans for him. He's fit, he's well. I think he'll be a massive runner.
We move to the third race, where you've got a first-time son of Trippy. Luke Ferraris gets the ride. That's auspicious in itself.
Yes, it's a horse that we got from a Clover Flay sale, I think, or Mayfair Dispersal sale. Nice Trippy colt, very big and immature, and probably looking for more ground, but he's shown enough talent that warranted me getting a decent enough jockey, and the guys who have ridden him have said he's about ready to run, so I'm hoping for a hopeful run from him.
Nice to have racing at the Vaal on a weekend that your horses have got hometown advantage for a change.
Definitely, and it's a match race, so we're all very excited to see how it goes, and nice to have two runners, and I think they're both in with half a chance, so excited.
Yeah, TSITSIKAMMA Bush, we don't really know too much about him. We're putting him into the race just to see basically where we are with him, hoping for the best, obviously.
Fit and well, though?
He is, as fit and well as we can have him. I mean, we've got like I say, we don't know that much about him, and we've put the blinkers on him. He seems to enjoy them a little bit more.
He's coming off after a gelding. It's his first run back. I think he might just need it, but maybe back end of quartets.
We have to bring out our best French accent, Riboux en var.
Yeah, Riboux en var, he is obviously going to enjoy this trip a lot more than the 1200. He just doesn't have the pace to sprint. But what's encouraging about his last run is he actually found something at the end which we didn't expect. But I'm expecting a much better run from him over the further trip.
Just the two runners on Saturday, Matt. Mrs. Simpson, she's got the least experience, but she's got the best form in the race.
Yeah, she won a very nice race first time out. We thought it would be too short, but she was showing us, so it was no surprise to see her win. Yeah, these races are there for them to be assessed, and I guess that's what will happen on Saturday. She's come through her first run well and seems to have made improvement.
Lovely. Then you've got a nice little break until race 6, where Verdier takes his place in the 6th.
Yeah, also an unknown quantity in the yard. It's his first run for us from Durban. He comes with nice solid form from there. And I'm hoping that we can figure out a bit more about him and that he brings his Durban form through to Joburg, and then we'll have quite a nice run from him.
Okay, then Dabian hasn't raced since July, patchy form, but I would expect that you're bringing him back because he's just about as fit as you can have him.
100%. We gelded him, and his work of late since the gelding has been a lot better than beforehand. You never know how much they're going to need it until they've had the race, but he's had a lot of work, and I'd be disappointed if he didn't run a much improved race.
I'm not quite sure about Winter Storm. I think we might have a Summer Storm, but in race 7, that is the horse that represents you, Winter Storm.
Winter Storm comes from solid form lines as well. He's also he always tries his best, and we're hoping for a same. Hoping to go one better this time. If he brings his work to the races, then he should be just about the horse to beat.
On the subject of horse to beat, MOUNI KEITH is deadly at the Vaal. He's very game, very consistent. You must be expecting a good run from him.
He has never put a foot wrong with us, barring getting cut into his one start, which he can completely be forgiven for. He always brings his best game to the races, and I'm expecting another solid effort from him.
While we're out here, it's beautiful and quiet and tranquil, and you've got place to keep horses that are on the easy list, or the sick and the lame and the lazy, whichever way you want to look at it. How many boxes you've got here?
At home, I've got 13 boxes, but obviously I've got plenty paddocks where I run a couple of the babies when they're on the easy list. So it works out well.
So above all else, it's just a change in environment and good for their mind.
Yeah, sadly, this is where Cash Time got fat, so I don't know if it's so good for their bodies, but definitely good for their minds.
And then finally, all roads lead to Cape Town, particularly this weekend and next weekend. You are represented by Sokrat, but I think that exciting race that everybody was talking about is not going to materialise. What is the reasoning for that?
Yeah, we just felt he's still slightly on the immature side, mentally and physically. We didn't want to get sucked into doing something based on pressure from everyone getting excited. And the Guineas in Joburg is actually only 7 weeks away, with the whole Triple Crown series ahead of him. And that's there for our taking. It's on home ground, and he's got a long future ahead of him. There was more to lose than there was to gain by going next Saturday. Lots of risks involved with transporting horses, and we've had some bad experiences recently. So, Sheikh and Angus felt was not worth taking the risk. We are looking into flying horses in January for Queensplate Day and Met Day, and if something like that happens, then we may consider taking a horse like him down and other horses, but we're not willing to risk it.
Yeah, it's the most incredibly sensible way to look at it, because there is so much against him. Round the left-hand bend for the first time, taking on a Vaughan Marshall's only won the Guineas 5 times. It's a tall ask, no matter how good your horse is.
Yeah, we're not we weren't worried about him not being good enough. He is definitely good enough. Just all the factors that go with transporting horse to Cape Town, and the fact that he is a valuable animal, and the fact that we have our own season here just around the corner at his home turf, so where he's comfortable. I think in the long run we'll be happy with our decision.
And if I may add, added to that, you have a representative that has got a huge chance. He's got more experience.
100%. I mean, Sokrat was champion 2-year-old, and he hasn't had a mention. He's only had one run back from his 2-year-old campaign, and he's been doing well. He's in Cape Town. I wouldn't write him off.
Just before you leave us, obviously people have been talking about viruses at Randkiesfontein. You obviously scratched him from the Dingons because all wasn't well with him, and you said in the week of the Dingons he turned the corner suddenly.
Yeah, he had 1 or 2 days of a temperature, slightly spiked temperature, and then Tuesday before the Dingons he did not put up his best piece of work, but so we had to take him out based on that. Already by the Saturday morning when he worked, we were disappointed we took him out because he worked so well and we thought he would have gone close, but we were in a lucky position where we had a warm to back us up, and that's why we didn't have to put Sokrat under any pressure. And it's the same thing now. We got Sokrat to go for us in the Guineas, and we don't have to put a warm under any pressure.